It's a throwback special. Tom Cruise's top stunts from every Mission Impossible movie. From dangling in the air like a midnight bat to dodging the hypersonic missile to flying in the air like a fighting jet, Tom Cruise is the unrivaled maestro of high-speed chaos and gravity-defying madness. This 59-year cool under pressure guy has performed some of the most life-threatening stunts and crossed every line we call insane. To honor his death-defying stunts legacy, brought to you by KJ, it's a special throwback of the legendary agent Ethan Hunt and his most death-defying stunts in every Mission Impossible movie. The Wire Hang Mission Impossible 1. Just when a mission went wrong and he became a lone survivor in the big game, Ethan Hunt was condemned as a rogue agent. What could he do to prove himself right? He goes out on a quest for justice and infiltrates the CIA headquarters to expose some bad guys. Dangling from above, Ethan has to keep his balance to avoid those nasty alarms, even if he has to fill his shoes with some shining coins. His mission? To retrieve the NOC file that contains the names of those nasty beasts lurking in the shadows. But this is a game of life and death. A single wrong move can rob him of his life. A rat is closing in and a man is about to lose the rope, and there you go. Hush, boy! Finally, he retrieves the data and leaves the lab in peace. This stunt was highly intricate, admitted by Tom Cruise himself, and required extreme physical balance and agility. But that stunt is not the end. Consider that you just experienced the tip of the iceberg. More danger is on its way. Knife to eyeball, Mission Impossible 2. Just as I said, that stunt was only a mere demonstration of what we call a danger. With the knife to eyeball stunt, Tom Cruise took action to new heights. In his second mission against time, Ethan must prevent a global catastrophe. But first, he must confront a ruthless villain. In a heart-stopping moment, when a villain attacks him with a knife closes a quarter-inch away from his vulnerable eye, which can cost him his eye. And I'm not joking when I say this. The risk factor in this stunt was even higher. The slightest mistake could result in very unfavorable circumstances and, at the very most, life-ending situations. The Bridge Attack, Mission Impossible 3. It's time for another bombastic entry. Ethan is on a mission to rescue some weird-named chick from an arms dealer. The bad guy's on the run, the good is chasing him. They have a super-secret ambush ready for the bad guy, and they get him. But guess what? As they say, bad guys are always one step ahead of the good guys. Just out of nowhere, some unknown henchman trigger a remote-controlled explosive, and boom! The next moment, you see a car flipping like a pancake at a breakfast buffet. And here comes the pièce de résistance. Shot in the sky, locked on Ethan with a magnet in his pocket, pulling the missile with the speed of light. But our unstoppable daredevil starts outrunning the missile like an Olympic sprinter on steroids. But he couldn't escape it, and the explosion threw him in the air like a human cannonball. This was just another mind-boggling stunt show with extreme risk and danger, but the explosion blow couldn't take our man down. Just as this daredevil performed the stunt, he was up in seconds smiling like a saucy sweetheart. The Burj Khalifa climb, Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol. As the ocean boasts its depths, the sky roars its heights, and in between is our daredevil, defying gravity and soaring high. When Ethan was about to infiltrate the higher security located at the top floor of the Burj Khalifa, this gentleman came up with this ingenious idea.
Nothing to worry about. We're just going to have to go into the server room from the outside.
What?
But Tom knows it's time to give his fans another adrenaline rush. So, he really decides to go from the outside. With a pair of adhesive gloves, though secure with a harness, Tom performs that stunt almost half a mile in the air. Oh boy, but he did it again! Battling strong winds with almost no oxygen, he just made this stunt the epitome of danger. A word from a professional, don't try this at home. Plane takeoff, Mission Impossible Rogue Nation. They say if you want to give your movie a heart-pounding jolt of adrenaline, just simply do what Tom Cruise does. Because what you're about to watch is some real hardcore classic pieces of stunt ever performed by even himself. Ethan needs to intercept some top-secret gizmo inside the military cargo, which is about to go high in the sky. It's time for Benji to remotely open the door to let him in, but wait, he can't open it?
Benji, open the door!
Benji, you schmuck! But Tom says, hey, no worries, I got this. Here we go, baby! Ethan decides to hitch on the outside of the plane because why not? Now, let me take you behind the scene. The cruise was bolted to the plane with a harness at a speed of 260 miles an hour. But that's not the real deal. Think for a second. Clinging to a plane at such a high altitude where anything can happen. You could be hit by bird or debris. High winds can knock you off like a pebble. And even more, the lack of safety equipment increases the risk of falling. But again, he got the job done all in a day's work. Because when you're Tom Cruise, the danger is just a mere suggestion on your list. Helicopter chase, Mission Impossible Fallout. Ethan got bored of driving cars and riding motorcycles, he hopped on the helicopter. For him, it's just another time and another hobby. Expertly maneuvering the helicopter in the narrow canyons, dodging towering cliffs as if he's playing a video game in the easiest difficulty mode. But wait, there's a rival in the game, another flying baby on his tail like an ant woman, and they begin to play an epic duel. Again, standing between him and death is the harness. What shocked people on the set was seeing Tom getting close to the other helicopter's rotor blades, which almost took his life. Motorcycle jump, Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1. One last piece that was missing to complete his stunt pack was the jaw-dropping motorcycle jump from a mountain. But not the final one, cause part 2 is coming soon, baby! A guy like Tom Cruise with a lifelong passion for jumping from the mountain eventually got the opportunity to make you say,
wow!
Being chased by an unstoppable force, Ethan had no choice but to jump and die or simply die. I guess I don't have to answer that. In a yet-to-be-released movie, The Dead Reckoning Part 1, Tom Cruise pulls off another heart-stopping stunt by riding his motorcycle off a cliff, propelling into a nosedive and then deploying a parachute to land on some far unknown land. This was the most dangerous stunt ever performed by Tom Cruise, said the Daredevil himself.
Oh, that was dangerous.
That was dangerous.
That was dangerous.
How many times?
All in all, another awesome installment from a time-honored franchise that will keep you on the edge of your seat in theaters on July 10th, 2023. Gather round, people. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel because we're coming back soon with another one. I'm KJ. See y'all next time.